Yellow, hi, hello, greetings, everybody. Welcome to the second session of tabletop RPG talks, where I grab a guest and we're gonna be nerding out and talking about a system that I am trying to get familiar with or trying to get to know. And this is a person that, plays the system, has gotten into the system, ran a couple of games. So get ready for some TTRPG nerd out shenanigans as we continue with season 2. Woot woot! Last week we had Wes for Pathfinder first edition and second edition, and today we have the GENESYS role playing system. Probably have heard this for the first time, or you've tried a couple of games, maybe from Fantasy Flight, Legend of Five Rings 4th edition, I believe, and of course the Star Wars system, Edge of Empire. We're not gonna talk about the one with the Sith and because I'm not kidding. But yes, we have here our special guest, Nino, or Nero, or Nirobu, whichever you want to call. But I know him as Nino, so I'm gonna call him Nino throughout this entire stream. Hi, Nino. Everybody.
Hi.
Yeah, we're here now. It's pretty chill.
Yeah, hi.
So I just want to do a fun like story time on how like we got to like kind of meet. Well, we didn't get to like meet and hang out as much. The initial one was, I believe, during the height of the pandemic. You guys had
Yes.
an event that you asked help from at least my group, Dudes and Dice, Davao,
Yes.
to. It
We've
was
never
my.
actually physically met.
Yeah, we haven't physically met
It's
because
all
he's
been like
in.
an online thing.
Yeah, it's we're just like online mutuals at this point because he's in Canada. He's in the land of the frost. Uh,
Yeah.
though like he's a admin in RPG Cebu, and then you had a virtual event. I think Recon, that was the first digital event, I think, for Recon. We gathered a couple of tables. I think Mikey was also there. He ran Witcher. Hi Mikey. I know you chat.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, I was talking mostly with Matt at the time, but then I got to meet Stefan and then you. I actually forgot how we actually met. Like we started to play more games together. I'm trying to remember that point. Do you remember the instance where we were like directly interacting with each other? Because I just remember that event, and then somehow
Yeah. Well.
somehow we started to play more games together.
Yeah. Well, it was Reconnect, which is I guess the online version of the of Recon. Yeah, it was 2019. Yeah, the height of the 2019, 2020, the height of the pandemic.
Woo!
And I believe, yeah, we were in like a general meeting with like everyone. And then after that, I don't remember what game we played, but I do remember asking you for help with finding someone who could run a Scion game for me. You gave me a recommendation,
Oh yeah.
and yeah,
And I
that's
just started from there, and then I've been trying to find time for that sci-fi game, like that genre I've been
yes,
wanting to play, but time and not enough players cry.
yeah.
You were gonna run
No one,
Expanse.
no one likes sci-fi apparently.
My heart. But I'm happy at least I
It's a
got
niche genre.
so much pain. But I played Starfighter, and I've ran Cyberpunk Red, so the itch has been scratched. Yan says heresy. Yeah. Well, it's just a cursed genre for me. Every time I want to play it, it's just like the campaign never takes off, or it's just one experience, like a little taste, and then So it is. Sci-fi is amazing. Yeah, it is. I love it. I
It
want to
is.
run more Alien games, and
Yeah, Alien. I've heard it's good. Never
yeah,
got to play it, unfortunately. So
yeah.
maybe
I
one day.
I want to run it again, like with a full campaign. I just did an Among Us reskin of the starter kit, and
Oh,
then
that's actually quite clever.
yeah, totally missed opportunity by Freeling, but like you know, and Freeling again. If you're looking for a game designer, right here. Anyways, there's a you know, enough about like a small chit chat. We're gonna get to know our guest today. Our like uh I would call the expert for Genesis. So tell us a little bit about yourself, like the games you've ran and played and you're currently playing before we start a really fun segment, the icebreaker.
Yeah. Okay. So, again, I've already been mother here has already introduced me. Uh, online Nirobu, usually Nero, but yeah, my real name is Nino. Nino because there are no Nyas in Canada. It's one of the few letters that doesn't have
Pain.
an accent. Yeah,
Pain.
they have like three different E's, three different A's, three different I's, but only one N. Go figure.
Sad.
Uh, let's see. My history with tabletop RPGs. A friend of mine, the one you mentioned, Steph, expressed interest in becoming more nerdy, more geeky. So he sought out like a bunch of RPG systems that he wanted to try out. D&D was big at the time, but I think 5e had just come out, and it was still relatively new, and we didn't know what we were doing. So instead of diving directly into that, right around 2006, 2005 or something, he brought up Mutants and Masterminds, and that was the first system
Ooh.
we played. Yes, it was.
Bruh.
It was an experience. We didn't know what we were doing. Only like recently did like we figure out that, oh, we were playing this thing wrong. We were just having fun, which is, I think, the initial thing that most people have is that, yeah, you play it like you play your first RPG, you don't know what you're doing, you're just hanging, you have like the
Arm
most fun
flailing.
because yeah, because you're not actually, you don't understand the rule, you don't know like, yeah, turn order or anything like that. You just play it, and it's like, yeah, this is really fun. uh I played as a character first, and then I ran a game with with Steph, Matt, and two other strangers. We played it at McDonald's. Funny enough.
Oh, I'm curious though. What character did you make in Mutant and Masterminds? Because like that was actually one of the systems touched by my first TTRPG group as well, other than Pathfinder 1E.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm curious what concept you made for your
Well, it
character.
was, yeah, it was a I believe it was a module for like DC characters as well, not just Mutants Masterminds like base.
Oh,
So yeah, there was a DC thing, and we didn't play established heroes, obviously, but I
pain.
played essentially. Uh, it was inspired by the Red Hood because I was
Ah,
kind of edgy still at the time.
yeah, the edge
So I
lords.
played
Ay,
this like
puta na.
morally ambiguous dual gun wielding like badass. Yeah, still a hero, but I won't
I
hesitate to
will
kill.
have to I will have to make that blurb a lot shorter because it cut you off. Curse you,
Oh,
sin!
okay.
Curse you! I was listening to a Red Hood character concept. How dare you? Sorry, I only heard you were being an edge lord, and then there was a
Yeah.
blurb. I will drink later. But so yeah, you made a Red Hood character that was basically an edgelord. What
Yeah.
was the world like? Since it's based off DC, I'm curious now because like
Well, yeah, and Steph decided that it would be done in the Philippines. So, and then the twist was that we were
okay,
hunting someone and then we wound up at, I forget, I think it was IT Park or something. And it was like a Wayne Enterprises like branch, so obviously Batman was there, and he kind of recruited us.
So there's a Pinoy
So
Batman.
yeah,
It's-
no. It literally that was Batman, because I think at the time there was like a storyline called Batman Incorporated, where he was like
Ah.
setting up. Yeah, because I think there was like a Batwing that was set up in Africa. There was like a Japanese wing of like Batman. So basically, he like globalized. He made like franchises of the Batman uh, brand.
The Wayne
Now,
Enterprise in the
yeah,
Philippines.
that was the most capitalistic like. Yeah, this is how Batman would do things. He'd like, okay, I'm gonna spread my brand all over the world and fund these people. He was funding like people from those places. So ours is like the Philippine version, supposedly. None of us were going to be Batman, but we were, the I guess his employees.
Yeah. You're the subordinate. But that's interesting, Batman in the Philippines. And then you're the Red
Yeah.
Hood. How did that fare? Like,
No, that was not on purpose. I didn't know he was gonna do that. So I just went with Red Hood because he mentioned using like non-metahumans, just like
okay.
regular humans. Yeah, badass normals.
All right. Awesome.
I guess I should have seen. I guess that should have been a clue, but I didn't pick up on it at the time.
Awesome. But what are the games you're playing currently?
Currently, unfortunately, once again, time is a weird soup.
Yeah.
I don't have any campaigns, though I was planning to join one that Matt was gonna run.
Cool.
Hopefully that still falls through. But the last game I played was Convictor Drive. Not sure if
What's that?
shout that out too. Convictor Drive. It's a Japanese TTRPG. So it's not like most RPGs as well. Most Western RPGs. Japanese do things like they march to the beat of their own drum. So it's essentially Kamen Rider.
Okay. All right. I've seen
It's
some
tokusatsu.
Ultraman hacks as well.
Yes.
So
Tokusatsu, the RPG.
nice. Okay. Cool. But just a little, like heads up. You are gonna currently run a game for this channel at least, and
yes.
you're gonna be running GENESYS, so it's fun that people get a bit of a refresher and a crash course on the system with this show before our one shot on Sunday.
This will be a primer.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so just a little, just to get to know you a bit more. We'll get to good questions in a bit, Yan, but for now, we're just getting to know you, Nino a bit. I did this for my previous guests, and of course, I'll apply the fun little icebreaker for you. 2 truths, 1 lie. So the chat and I will have to figure out the lie in the 3 statements you're gonna make about yourself. I failed the last one. I failed the last one with the guest because I said I didn't think you'd be a Dark Souls player, and some of my guests, Wes's friends on chat, they're like snort because apparently he is a Dark Souls player. But yeah, what are your 3 statements? We'll guess which one's the lie about yourself.
Well, I didn't know it'd be like game related, so I tried to spread it out of not just games. So this will be fun.
Sure. Hit us.
Jeez. This is just gonna be like humble brag. Alright. First statement. I'm considered to have a genius level IQ of 175.
175 IQ.
Second statement, I used to have the speedrun world record for Banjo-Kazooie.
What's Banjo-Kazooie?
My goodness. I'm not... Wait, you're... We're the same generation. How do you not know what Banjo-Kazooie is? It's a Nintendo 64 game. We'll get into details. I'm assuming you're going to ask me...
Okay, your reaction makes it a truth.
Okay, next. I have had 2 near-death experiences.
Mm, okay, interesting statements. So Yan said the one with Banjo Kazoo. I don't even know what Banjo Kazoo. You see, partner and I, we're this is why we're partners. This is why we're correspondents. We're like, what the fuck is a Banjo Kazooie? It's like somebody playing a banjo and a kazoo at the same time.
Wow. Okay. Hold on. Okay. So I know how this game works. So that means you're gonna have to ask details. We're gonna start with that. We're gonna like pick
No,
that
no,
one
no, no,
apart first.
no. This is baiting you. This is baiting you. No, okay. But I will look up Banjo Kazooie eventually. But what is it exactly? Is it like you said
Uh,
Nintendo 64?
yes, it's a platformer game where you take the role of basically your 2 characters.
Uh huh.
Banjo is a bear who wears overalls. He's very Mario-esque in that way.
Uh huh.
And in his back, he carries a backpack where his friend Kazooie uh, stays in. So basically, the gameplay is you're collecting things in the overworld. It's really old school, like platformer,
Uh huh.
where you know how basically like Super Mario as well, Super Mario 64, where you have an overworld, you go into like a level, and then you complete certain objectives in the level. It's basically Banjo Kazooie. Again, Banjo has his own strengths. He's very strong. He can punch things. He's the one that actually jumps. And Kazooie is more of a like it helps him fly because she's a bird. So again, it's a platformer.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So Yan so far said, I think genius IQ is a lie. Near death experience is true. Speedrun true too. So that is Yan's call that the first statement is a lie. Kits also agrees to it. For me, I think you have high IQ. I think it's not well because like my IQ is just like 93, so it's like bro,
That's
175. What
not
the
bad.
fuck? I'm an
That's not bad.
average, okay?
That's average. Yeah.
It's averages. So, a 175 though.
Yeah.
I think it's a
Do you want to
truth.
ask? Do you want to ask more details about how I found that out? Yeah, you
What the
need to.
specific? What was it? An online test or was it an actual Ravens IQ test? What specific test is
Uh,
this is gonna help me because I have a
yes,
subject
exactly.
specific to IQ test. So what IQ test did you take for this?
That was during. It was a while ago, so I can't
Mm-hmm.
remember what specifically they used, but it
Mm-hmm.
was during high school. Our
Uh-huh.
school decided, yeah, we're gonna hold like an IQ test, just to see the general intelligence of our students.
Uh-huh.
They did it. I got 175.
Mm.
Everyone was surprised, considering I failed some of my classes. I had like summer classes. I was never in like the top 10. People were like, what the hell happened? How the hell did you do that?
Ah.
It's
Ah.
like everyone just kept like, what the how?
Mm.
And then I even got like a small. It's not like it wasn't an interview. It was just really small, like kind of like a blurb in our like monthly publication. I just
Uh-huh.
got like a small corner
Okay,
of
can I
that particular
ask
publication.
just for the
Yes.
tests? What kind
Hmm.
of tests did you take? That like what were the questions like? Because this is gonna help me scrutinize what exact IQ test you took.
God, I again, it was so old. It was so long
What
ago.
like was it questions? Was it like
Well,
words or was
yes.
it shapes?
There were words, there were shapes as well. Yeah, there was that whole like if this is to this, this is to that. There were a lot of like, yeah, what's the next pattern to this? Yeah, but again, I don't
Mm.
remember the specifics. It was high school. I'm old. That was like
Hmm.
a good
Hmm.
20 or so years ago.
I mean, for something that like, okay, so I
I just need to inform you as well. There is one.
yes.
I have seen every single lie to you.
Wait, you're cutting out. I just want to tell
I
you.
saw.
I was like, what?
Yeah, I've seen every episode of the British television show "Would I Lie to You," which is a show about figuring out whether something is a truth or a lie. Basically, this game, but with like celebrities.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So
I'm
for me, I think you're too careful to have two near-death experiences. I think you could have one, because you're the type of. You've mentioned it yourself. You're an introvert, so I don't think you'd go out of your way to like put yourself in harm's way in a sense. So it's either it's more than two, or it's just one. So I don't think it's just
Okay.
exactly two. I think there's either more instances
Would you like
given.
to?
So I think
Okay,
that's
Ace Attorney. Would you like to press me on like more details?
no.
So I
This
can.
one, no. That's not for this one. But the Banjo Kazooie though is also like
Mhm.
there's like a hole in there, because there are some people that are passionate in games,
Mhm.
but they don't necessarily win speed runs. Like they can play for the longest time and do as many hours in, but they're not
Well,
speed
again,
runners
yes,
per
of course.
se.
But my statement there was I used to have a speedrun rule. You brought it.
Used to.
Yes, used to. There's the because this one was back when
There's just so many
the
plot
Philippines.
holes
Yeah.
in your statements that I'm like sus of everything. But yeah. Okay, I'm gonna lock in, since Yan and Kit's locked in that the IQ thing is a lie. I'm gonna lock in that the third statement is a lie.
Oh, the near-death experiences. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have like a what is this? Do you have like a poll to see whether your
No,
chat is like?
no, it's just through the comments, whoever is commenting.
Alright. So tell me when you want when you want me to reveal.
So you can reveal it now. Which one's the lie?
First off, I say, two near-death experiences. I have had it, so that one's true.
No, fuck.
It was
Damn
not
it.
under my control. I did. This was like maybe before I got into high school. I was
Okay, so this was like.
I was not a smart kid, which is ironic because number one is also true.
Yeah, I knew it. You don't joke about such things. For me, it was like more of like a numbers thing. It could just be 1 or 3. So, damn it.
Yeah, that one's true. Near death experience. Also, the IQ thing is true.
Damn it! So it is the speedrun. God.
Yeah, the speedrun.
Slams fist. Well, no, well, at least we know that now. That you have an IQ 175.
Alright, I need to give like a thing regarding the IQ. This is part of the reason why I put it up, is because I also want to make a PSA kind of about it. IQ does not measure intelligence in any way, shape, or form. At least the one that I know of.
Because I'm curious about the assessment, because like.
I'm sure they use the one that's like to separate the upper class from like the lower class.
No, it's like because like the way assessments work, like a fun psychological assessment packs. You don't just rely on one test to determine like the IQ.
Yes,
it's a battery of tests. So if they base your IQ on just one test, that's just like part and parcel of a puzzle that doesn't really create a congruent full picture of the person's entire psyche. So for them to just do one test, and if it's like in the Philippines, they probably just threw in an NCAE, and like it's not even Ravens, it's probably just a generalized IQ test, which is gonna just piss me off. Because like you didn't even go through Ravens, you didn't go BPI. I'm gonna go over.
I'll be honest, I've not measured mine recently. I might, because I think it's much better now, because if I remember correctly, IQ tests used to be very like classist essentially, because there was like, if what do you call this, if like candles are to chandeliers, 4 years are to what? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah. It
essentially
wasn't.
just like pop
It.
culture knowledge.
Yeah, it's like validity. So there's the validity, reliability of tests. A lot of tests that were taken for IQ is now considered obsolete and not
Yeah, yeah.
applicable to the current times. I
Exactly.
had a semester of
Uh,
that. God damn
Again,
it.
that was look, that was 2 decades ago. It makes sense that I took that test. That's what it gave me. I'm sure right now, if I did, I'd have accurate representation. It'd probably be in like the lower hundreds, maybe like right
Yeah,
around yours, 90s.
yeah. English language and culture knowledge is also a thing. But yeah, so you didn't have a speed run. You were just you know
Oh
you were
no,
just really
I
passionate about
thought
the game.
no. I thought I found a speed. And what happened was I played this game, and I
Uh-huh.
accidentally like fell into the world. I found like an accidental glitch
Mm-hmm.
that technically like shaved off roughly 20-30 minutes. And then I thought,
Oh,
oh goodness, I think I did something really cool. I looked at the game time. Oh wow, I think that shaved off a lot. I looked up the speedrun
speedrun.
world record. Not even close.
Okay.
not
Hopes
even not even
dash.
top 100. Yeah, I thought I had something. I didn't even record it. I thought I could like, oh my god, this like shaved off a lot of time. Maybe I can join one of those speedrun world record things. I looked it up. It's like, oh well, that's not even close. Even if I did
Christ.
things, yeah. I think it shaved off 20-30 minutes. So I got, I don't know, 10-15 hours. I don't remember the time, but it was just, I thought it was like, yeah, I got like a cool bug, and I thought I could like I thought it gave me like an advantage. Then I saw everyone could finish it in like 2-3 hours, and like, never mind.
Oh well. Oh well. Well, now we know. We now know a little bit
Yeah.
about you. You are IQ 175 genius. And
Only I should have added a caveat, as of like
as
it
of
was like
20
20
years
years ago.
ago.
Yes, as
Yeah.
of 2003.
Yeah. In your high school days, you were IQ level 175. You had two death experiences. Wait, dude, you don't have to talk about it, but at least we know it's two. And
Yeah.
and
One involved. They both involved asphyxiation, by the way.
what the fuck? What the fuck? Do you have like allergies or something? Like nut
No, no, no,
allergy?
no. They were they were accidents, technically.
Oh my god. Okay, we're not gonna go deep
Yeah.
into it, but at least, oh god. Well, I'm glad you survived because now you're here to talk
Yeah.
about Genesis, which is an awesome segue.
Yes. Perfect.
uh, so, we're gonna get to know the Genesis system now. Uh,
Mhm.
I just realized I didn't put the title stuff because I was just really into the convo. So we're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
do
yeah.
some talk time about Genesis. So I guess if you were going to pitch, like somebody who's kind of new to, like, let's say they just got into the TTRPG scene, and they haven't heard about the system, which is going to be a lot of people in this chat who is like, oh, this is the first time they've heard about Genesis.
Mhm.
What's your elevator sales pitch for this system?
What I would say for Genesis is, hmm, again, I'm not a very good salesman, so I'm just gonna tell you why I kind of why I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's not crunchy, with like a lot of modifiers and numbers and all that.
Uh-huh.
The dice system is really unique, mostly because they also use their own dice. But if I were to say sales pitch, it's a great role playing game if you're into like describing what you're doing. There's a reason it's called the narrative system. The system itself is specifically called like the narrative dice system, because the dice that you roll also tell a story.
Yeah.
I'll go into that when we talk about specific mechanics, but that's basically it. The narrative dice system that Genesis uses makes it so that all of your dice technically have a story behind it when you roll,
Yeah.
whether you succeed or not,
Nice.
uh, you know, based on the dice pool that you've created.
Okay. Yeah. So Yan had a question earlier, which I'm gonna read real quick.
Mhm.
It says, "I have a question. How does Genesis compare to Fate Core? I started to read about it, and it looks like it's something in the middle of Fate and Warhammer Fantasy. How accurate is the impression? Like,
Unfortunately, played it, but as far as I know, Fate is very. That's the one with the like index cards that you can use to like give yourself like different traits, right?
I remember it's a D6, like, but I only touched
Yeah, it's a
Fate
D.
Core,
Well,
so
it's not. Yeah, it uses specific dice. Yeah, Genesis does have that thing where the dice is unique. Because Genesis they use their own specific brand of dice.
yeah, I would say it's not like
And
Warhammer Fantasy though, because Warhammer Fantasy is like it's like a D100 system, and it's a lot more convoluted in a sense that it feels more like a more heightened version of Pathfinder,
mm,
Pathfinder like the Warhammer Fantasy one, especially the fourth ed. Fate has a pyramid
oh,
skill system. Yeah.
jeez. Oh, that may be why, because Genesis does use a talent tree that
Uh,
is in the shape of a pyramid. So I don't know. Maybe
oh.
that's why. Yeah,
Okay.
maybe just a few bits and pieces from other things.
Yeah. So it could be
But
similar
yeah,
to Fate, I guess,
yeah,
in terms of.
similar to Fate in that it uses unique dice.
Mhm.
And you do count instead of counting numbers. This is why I think it's not as crunchy as all the other games. Is that uh, the dice themselves don't have numbers on them, they're icon. And I believe Fate has the same thing, where it's only pluses, minuses, and blanks.
Uh-huh.
The Genesis, like the dice they use, is very unique. uh, it's D6s, D8s, and D12s, but the faces aren't numbers. They're either number of successes. There's a thing called threat, advantage, failures, and then two special ones, which are technically crits, which are called either triumph or despair is like the nat. Yeah, despair would be nat 1, triumph is like nat 20.
I want to
So
show
it's
a fun picture
oh perfect.
to people that show
Yes.
the thingy
Yeah,
words.
I should have prepared that one.
It's
Because
okay.
yeah, the dice is the most unique aspect of
Yeah, I was just about to lead on to that one because like what makes Genesis unique, and you keep mentioning the dice. So let me let me pull up the thing real quick.
Mhm.
So that's the where is oh no, do I have to make a new window? Damn it! I have to make a new window. Hold on.
OBS.
Yes. Dice. Totally prepared for this. Totally. Prepared to show dice. All the clickety clicks. But it's just more symbols than anything. So.
Yeah.
E- oh. Oop. Uh. Okay, now I can show.
There we go.
Ah! So they show Star Wars and
There we
Genesis.
are. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. There's yeah, they do look slightly different. Yeah, success, advantage, triumph, failure, threat. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
So yeah. So like, how does the dice system work specifically? You mentioned that it's unique and that it tells a story. Like, how would you?
Yes.
What's a one example you can go with like showing these dice and like the symbols and stuff for people that or like when they see the dice like what the fuck is success? Because like some people, I
Yeah.
think some people are used to the 1 to 20 system from 5e.
Yes.
So how would you apply
There
this?
is. Well, how it works is you make a dice pool. Essentially, you don't just roll like one or two. You make the dice pool. It starts off with determining which skill and then which characteristic. There's 6 characteristics as per standard RPG fare these days. There's brawn, agility, willpower, cunning, intellect, and then presence, which are just you could determine which one is which for like D&D, which one is strength, agility, all that good stuff, and you combine that with a skill, athletics, acrobatics, all that good stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and you take the highest number of either of those, and that's how many dice you roll, and the lower number of those is how many of those dice become like upgraded, is I think the term they use. I forgot the term. Yeah, upgrade. uh, Usually you roll the green dice. Oh, you didn't show that part.
Wait, I'm gonna
Essentially,
show
you
the
roll.
colorful dice. I have the colorful
Yes, the colorful
dice.
dice.
I
It's
will
actually
show it.
very cool too.
Okay, I'm gonna show it. I'm gonna show it. I got the window up, so here you go. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, there they are. So you roll basically you roll the good dice, which are the ones at the top, the greens, the blues, and the yellows, and the difficulty is set
Mm-hmm.
based on what you're trying to do, with like the bad dice at the bottom. So yeah, narratively, if you're good at something, you'll have you can upgrade your green dice. Green dice are like the basic,
Mm-hmm.
the basics of what you'll roll, and then depending on whether you're proficient at something, they'll upgrade into the yellow die, which are proficiency.
Oh yeah, I remember this in Star Wars. Yas.
Yes, it is. To determine the difficulty, the GM will say, that's very hard. So if it's hard, you'll pick up 3 of the purple dice, which again have failures, and basically they're the bad ones.
Okay.
And
Fair.
then if it's like really, really bad, or there's like if you're fighting someone, it might upgrade into the despair dice,
Oh yeah.
which is the red ones there. And then you roll. Once you make that dice pool, you roll, and then you count how many successes and failures you have. Successes will negate failures. Advantages will negate threats, and then once all of those are like once they all cancel each other out, whatever is left is determines whether you succeed or not.
Nice.
So if I rolled like 3 successes and 3 failures, I generated no success, so I have failed.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Now those dice on the right, the blue and the black ones, are called boost and setback dice.
Oh, go by the way.
So
Yeah.
No worries.
Put
So
it back.
essentially, if there's any external factors that make it like better, you add a boost die. If there are, environmental factors that'll make you that will screw you up, or if you're just like tired, supposedly, you'll get one of those black dice.
So they're the setback dice, right?
Yeah, the black ones are the setback, the blue are the boost. So
Okay.
that's what I meant by telling a story. So
Yeah.
depending on how hard it is.
The thing that's messing me up is that Star Wars uses setback as red. Is what
I think they still use. I think they use the same color, but maybe they use a different name. I haven't played Star Wars in a while, but
yeah. Oh, question for Yan. Is there a program where the players can roll this dice? Yes, there is a Discord bot dice that I've used for my Star Wars campaign. It's called Sebedias. That's the one I used. And I believe Roll20 has the character sheet set up that if you just automatically, like if you click stuff, that's what I remembered for Star Wars.
Do you have like a relationship with Roll20 or anything like that? Or
It's a love-hate relationship. It's a love-hate relationship.
Fantastic. Yeah, you don't have an official thing, but I'm just gonna say this because the character sheet in Roll20 for Genesis
is pain.
Star Wars, in fact, is not good, like at all. It's terrible.
I think it's why I went for PDFs and Discord for my campaign, because I hated it so much. The setup's just too painful. But
you do use you could use also RPG sessions, but it's very limited.
I can feel your pain, bro.
We used to use RPG sessions for our like Genesis stuff.
Okay. Yeah. That's cool. I really like the dice because like it's like
Yes,
it's
the dice are the
fond
most unique
memories.
aspect of this thing.
I remembered like there was a thing where I gave them a lot of negative dice to go through like this puzzle thing trying to get out of a prison cell in Star Wars. They bypassed the puzzle with because like they just figured out the mechanisms and which one to target and they just got out and I was like fuck you guys, I had a puzzle. and then um and then uh there was also them like going through like a fight with like an entire armada of the Imperial. Like they were trying to get out of that place, and then like because I researched the lore for it from Legends, and then there was like an intense ship fight thing, and they had a triumph. That it was awesome, but for me it was like curses, their luck. Uh, so it's fun. Yeah, the dice I can say it's very unique from my experience. Like it's so colorful. I like it. I like the
There is
colorful
one
dice.
other aspect that we did not mention, which was the Destiny points. I think it's called.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The Destiny points are also basically it's it's a bunch of tokens that you can flip.
Yes.
And you can use it to introduce an aspect to the story that you like. Basically, it gives the player control of a narrative as well.
Nice.
And yeah, that's also pretty good.
Yeah.
It's also very underused. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Sad. Yeah. Is it like the light and dark
Yes.
points in Star Wars?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. It's
Awesome.
still called I believe it's still called the Destiny
Yes.
points in
Yeah.
either system.
Yeah. It's either
It's
go
just-
light or dark. YOLO. it's
Yeah,
a
it's
YOLO.
just because Star Wars is a themed one. They call it light side, dark side, but in Genesis, it's just it's
Destiny.
just the different points. Yeah, it's just Destiny. It's either for the GM or the player.
Yeah, that it is awesome. It's like one of those systems, especially in Modifius. Like,
Oh right.
yeah, Modifius has those point systems as well, where you can use it to help you in the moment, but it's gonna give a boost to the GM to throw more threats at you later on.
Yep.
Story points, but I prefer Destiny. Oh, oh. I don't know what the asterisks are. I don't know if Mikey shared a link. I'm so sorry. I don't know what that asterisk is. But yeah. Yeah, I use Destiny like 2 to 20 momentum. Yes! Momentum! Let's fucking go. But yeah, those are the cool,
yeah,
unique
momentum.
things for Genesis. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, there are a lot of, again, not just Genesis, but there are a lot of systems that are good when they give players the ability to like affect the narrative in some way. I think Genesis was the first time I had that experience where I can like make stuff up too. I'm not just like yeah, I'm not just
so
at
loud.
the whims of the GM.
Thank you, Sleepy. Love you, Sleepy. Thank you. Sorry, one of my then kids dropped by. Hello, Sleepy.
Okay.
Yes. And my brain went somewhere because like there was a blurb that was Queens going mama, and I'm like, fuck. Sorry,
Yeah.
I did warn you about this in advance. But yeah.
Bohemian Rhapsodies.
I wanted to ask like yeah, if since we talked about the uniqueness of Genesis, like the question is, it's unique, it's good for narrative, and all that stuff. But is it newbie friendly? Like, is it accessible in terms of resources? Like, people can easily pick it up because, like, in comparison to Pathfinder, like they have online resources where people can just easily use without, like to get into the system. Would you say that Genesis is newbie friendly?
I'd say there are resources. It might vary on how newbie someone is. If you're like really new to tabletop RPGs, I'm not sure if it would be friendly to you. But if you've played like other RPGs and you're diving into a system that's not just a D20, uh, then I'd say Genesis would be like friendly to you. The only hmm, when you said resources, I thought of
I mean,
like okay, I thought
not
of
just
physical.
not just resources.
Yeah,
Like, can people easily pick it up? Like get into it in a sense, because like resources is
I
a big deal for people to get into it.
yeah.
But Pathfinder, like Paizo, makes it the resource free, but it takes some people aren't into the number crunch, so they're discouraged to get
Yes.
into 1E, even if the resources are there. So resources is just one part of the newbie friendly slash accessibility. But for
Well,
Genesis, do you think like people can easily pick it up? It's easy for them to get into.
yeah.
Like,
Again, mechanics wise, it's definitely easier than like
oh
any of the
well.
other RPGs I've tried. Again, when I keep coming back to resources because I thought of physical resources, which is the dice. The dice are hard to get. That's the issue. At least for when I was in the Philippines. Here it's a bit easier, so it might be just hard for your Filipino audience to find it. But there is at least a dice roller online. You could use the RPG sessions one. You mentioned like a Discord bot, so there's ways around it. Maybe not officially.
Also, I
Uh,
apologize in
yeah.
advance. Somebody
Mhm.
in my chat availed Uwu, so I will be talking in Uwu for a bit.
Oh, okay. I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Okay. So, sorry. So, God damn
I
it,
think we've
fine.
hold on. We've I think you know that we are forever GMs. We know this. It's fine. I've like I've heard worse.
Thank you for being very understanding. So, what is a common misconception for Genesis being a complicated system?
Oh, I really think it's just the dice, and the fact that you could the when to add boost, when to like upgrade, downgrade, when to like basically when to add stuff to the dice pool and
Yeah,
when to like
isn't
remove
it in
stuff.
a GM discretion that they dictate when to add boost or when to add setbacks, or can the
Uh,
players add that?
Oh, the players definitely. At least the way it's written, I've read it as long as the players can say, okay, for example, you're running away from like a bunch of stormtroopers, and you're in a chase. So instead of just having rolling for like athletics or coordination or whatever, you could say, oh, I tried to like block their way by I don't know, kicking one of these droids into their path. Uh, for me, at least, I would add, okay, I'll allow that. And then if they succeed and if they have like advantages and all of that, I'll let them add that as a setback dice to the one chasing them, like the stormtroopers. So yeah, that's literally what it says. There are mechanics that can add those, but more often than not, I look to my players for like when they want to add these kind of things.
Oh, what if they're the type of like the players? Of course, no one kind of wants the negative dice. It's like,
Hmm.
can the players like debate? No, why would we have a setback? Because I have this skill set and this, like, how does that work? It's like it's just said it's a narrative system.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
how would you balance that as a GM when the player should be like, no, it shouldn't have been this difficult, or no, because my character is a bounty hunter. He has been, doing this for years. He's been in the business. So how would you handle those kinds of discussions when it comes to like putting negative dice on their dice pool?
Well, here's the thing: the negative dice is the GM side of things.
Oh.
They could argue that since they are a bounty hunter, okay, this is something that you're used to or something you're practiced at. I'll let you add boost die. So basically, all of the good dice, that's your responsibility if you want to add or if you
Oh.
think, yeah, the bad ones, that's me. And if you
Oh,
really want
okay.
to mess with it even more, use the story points or destiny points. Yeah. So
Okay,
the
so
negative dice,
it's purely on the GM side, and then all the good dice. Oh, thank fuck! How the timer went up. Okay, so so the good dice is still something that the players can suggest. Hey, can I have a boost? Or hey,
yeah,
can this be a proficiency because of something?
yeah,
Um,
sure.
Nice, cool, cool. But all the negative dice, you being setting up the difficulty, the
Oh
setbacks,
yeah,
that's all
yeah.
GM.
That part, yeah, that part. That's if I decide that this is uh, there's a lot going on here. Yeah, I might turn that difficulty into like a higher level dice. Why
Okay.
not?
Okay. How the character stats work then is I kind of want to open up my Star Wars
Yes.
sheet, but is there a specific sheet for Genesis, or can I use Star Wars as an example?
Well, they're technically the same thing, anyways.
Okay.
Just they're called differently.
Okay.
But yeah, it still has. I think I mentioned this earlier. Characteristics. So six. The standard RPG fare of like brawn, agility, willpower, intellect, presence, and shoot, I'm missing something. Cunning. There. So you can already tell which ones are like the analog to D&D. Uh, yeah. There's a level. There's a number to those. It usually goes up to six. I don't remember if that's the same for. No, five. It goes up to five. I don't know if that's the same for Star Wars, but I know Genesis at least only goes up to five.
Okay.
And then the skills that you have also go up to five. So it's essentially how it works is you take the higher of the two numbers, and that's the size of your dice pool. So you
Okay.
have if you have like an agility of 4, which is actually pretty huge already.
Oh, thank
And
you,
mhm.
Mikey. Because
Oh,
I was pulling up my
sheet.
the sheet that I made for one of my
Yeah.
players in
Oh, okay.
during our
Star Wars,
campaign,
right?
but it's very pixelated, and I was like, God damn it! Alright,
Yeah.
Regen. Let me.
Yeah, there's also that. Oh, I should have
Yeah,
mentioned that during accessibility because Genesis does not have like a beginner set, but the Star Wars beginner set you can also
yes.
use that too, because it is very. It's one of the best like tutorial quote unquote or like starter kits I've ever had the pleasure of playing. D&D has the Mines of Philovander, I think. I don't
Fandelver,
Fandelver.
Fandelver. Yeah.
Fandover. Yeah, I don't remember that. I don't even remember it because it's like whatever. It's just it doesn't ease players into like the mechanics. The beginner sets, any one of them, for Star Wars is a very good introduction to the narrative dice system.
So here's like
Highly
example.
recommend that.
I'm sharing the this is the one that
Oh, okay.
Mikey pointed out, Realms of Terranoth. I also have the one I made
Yes, Realms of
for
Terranoth.
there's this one from Plogan. This is his
That's
PD1.
the fantasy.
This is the one from the TTRP the Star Wars character sheet maker. But we're gonna use the Realms of Terranoth because it's a lot prettier. It's a less pixelated.
Yeah. So yes. All right, we can go over like that. So yeah, if you see brawn is 4, and athletics is also there's no ranks to that. So okay, so he's just rolling 4 green dice. Let's see. Oh, melee. There we go. If you're planning to attack someone, let's say, so you take the dice pool, which is 4 brawn, and then ranks in melee seems to be 2. There's like 2 shaded things.
Uh-huh.
So that means you'll be rolling a dice pool of 4, and then 2 of those are going to be the yellow proficiency die or
Yeah.
dice. So yeah, the highest number determines how large the dice pool is, and the ranks determine how many proficiency dice. The yellow dice, the proficiency dice, are the only ones with the triumph. So you can only ever crit when
With
you have
yellow
ranks in
dice.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at
And also because it's a D12, it has more of the good stuff. It has more good. What do you call these? It has more successes and advantages and all that stuff.
so this is the Star Wars
This is
sheet.
Star Wars, yes. Star
Yeah.
Wars sheet.
I'm more familiar with this sheet.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Also, I think D&D is the only one that has like armor as armor class and not like a soak mechanic. That's
Yeah.
always been weird to me. I didn't realize that wasn't the standard, because every other game I've played has had this soak thing.
Yeah.
Which just reduces damage, which I think is more. I think it makes more sense, but also it adds a bit of math. So I think that's why they took it out.
Yeah, Cyberpunk also
But
has the soak mechanic for their armor. Like, it has to go through the armor first. Same goes with World of Darkness. There is actually a
I think
defense.
D&D
Yeah.
is the outlier in this case.
Yeah. For the they had Thaco. You know.
Yeah, Thaco. No. We shall not talk about the dark times of Thaco.
So yeah. So that's how stat works. Okay,
Yes.
good luck with the lurk, Yan, and thank you for the question so far. If you guys have any questions about the system, feel free to throw it in. You know, Yan's here to Yan. Nino's here to answer the questions about Genesis, like anything you guys have about stats, character creation, how the dice works. He's here. Hi, Mac. So yeah. Oh, and Mikey said he introduced a ton of people using the Star Wars starter kit. Yeah. I actually got into Star Wars through the starter kit of Edge of Empire.
Yes.
It was really cool.
I think it's it's definitely one of the most. People will say it's like handholdy, but obviously it has to be. It's a different system. I think all RPGs should have where they introduce things like slowly and like, okay, we're gonna introduce this and that. In fact, because we're gonna have that one, I have like designed the Genesis one shot to be like this, where the systems are introduced slowly. You
Mhm.
mentioned we'd be having newbies.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll do it like how they did it in the start. In fact, I chose a specific scenario from that.
I want to ask as well, since it's like one of the questions. You mentioned that Genesis is a narrative system. So would it discourage players that are very combat centric? Like they come from systems that are very number crunching, you know, the hard systems. Would this system be discouraging to combat?
I would say no. When I ran my Star Wars games, it was not like, it didn't feel like. Oh wait, no, combat heavy. Oh yeah, no, it's good. It's good actually for combat as well, because you get to narrate the things. Just because it's roleplay centric doesn't mean the combat has to be, boring. It does make it. It does make the combat. Let's just say it's the time dilation that happens in combat is a bit more stretched, I would say. Combat technically happens very quickly if it were like in the real world, but when we're playing it takes a bit longer because you're describing things like how your character's doing, and again because it's narrative, you add boost die this is
I'm
what
gonna have to
happens.
turn off that blurb because that really cuts off your line sometimes. Hello, Jam. Thank you for
sorry.
dropping by. No, they keep telling me to hydrate with water. Thank you. I don't have water right now. But yeah, we're just getting into. Sorry, you're gonna have to repeat that last part. We're talking about Genesis combat and how combat and narrative setting is not separate. So that's where I got cut off by the blurb.
Okay. No problem. So I would say that no, they shouldn't be discouraged, because in fact, if you like combat, you could describe it even more with this system, because it is roleplay centric. The combat is also more narrative.
Mm-hmm.
So you can describe your combat, a bit more in detail, because you can you can use the story/destiny points to manipulate the scene, give yourself, upgrade your dice, add the boost die, as I mentioned earlier, based on like, yeah, I see that he's at a is a position where he's like at a disadvantage, like higher ground than him. So essentially, you narrate how that gives you a boost.
He has the
It's
high ground,
it's
Anakin.
yeah, essentially, I think that's one of the skills as well, and like one of the talents in Star Wars, like the high ground thing. So no, they shouldn't be discouraged. If you like combat, I think you'd like the fact that you can narrate it. You're not just like, yeah, I hit him, because I think that's what turns off a lot of people. I've heard a lot of complaints when people play like RPGs and they just like, when they get into combat, it bogs everything down. Like the creativity gets sucked out, and everyone is just crunching numbers and like trying to maximize the amount of damage they do.
Uh-huh.
I've not had that with like the Genesis system, or with like Star Wars. It's always been like, it's fun because moment to moment you're able to describe in detail like action scenes, and you get more into it, as compared to, again, other systems which you could role play how this barbarian uses his rage and reckless does a reckless attack, but it's not like required. I think in Genesis, because it is like part of the system to narrate what you're doing, I think just so you can add dice or remove dice, it encourages you to be more talky during the combat scenes.
Oh, okay, cool. So Mikey said, it can be as crunchy as you want it to be. There's a table of uses for mechanical uses for threat advantage as a baseline. I had Munchkin players,
Oh,
and they found
those are
Genesis Star Wars potentially more crunchy than D&D.
oh, that's you could but for me at least, that's those are suggestions.
Yeah.
I found that, again, because it doesn't use like numbers and stuff, you're just matching symbols, canceling each other out. There's not as much, again, at least for me, and not as
Yeah.
much crunch as it would be for something like Pathfinder or like 5e.
Yeah. And I find that Genesis also rewards players for listening to each other per details, not just waiting for your turn. Ooh.
Oh yeah, that's actually, I hadn't thought of that. You're right, because when someone does something, theoretically you could say, "Oh, he did this before. Can I take advantage of that?" And then yeah, you could get like a boost if you wanted to. I'm sure
Yeah.
I've done that before, but I didn't even like think of it. See, it's very organic the way things can happen in
Yeah.
Genesis or Star Wars.
Yeah, when I ran Star Wars, yeah, it really felt like, as even if I was running it for the first time or like just a few times, it felt natural because people were bouncing off each other. It was like it was more like feeling like you're running a kind of like a scenario, like a movie of sorts, where like everybody's an actor bouncing off each other. Like, so it was really fun. Yeah. So like
Yeah.
that's what I appreciated with Star Wars, at least, because like even if like just in a simple dialogue socials, like, oh, he picked up on it from his listening that the discussion between him and, let's say, somebody he's getting a quest from that was blackmailing him. So with that added information of blackmail, he could get a boost to like intimidate, like, you don't want this to get to the authorities, do you? So it's like,
Yeah,
ooh.
exactly. Yeah, again, narrative. So it's everything that happens in like narration. You can theoretically say that it like gives you something good, something bad. Yeah, it's collaborative storytelling. So
Yeah.
that should be standard.
Yes. Physical sessions are fun because you get to pass around dice as a symbol of boosting each other. Ah, that's so nice.
Yeah,
I have yet to
is.
play I've played a physical game of Star Wars with John. Shout out to John, GM John. Thank you. It was fun. I played a droid. We only had one dice set. to play with.
Yes, that's part of the accessibility thing, is that those dice are annoyingly hard to get.
Oh, cries. So yeah, I
There
guess
is a conversion table, but it's not as fun.
yeah, it's just it hits different when you see the colorful dice with the symbols versus using like the number dice as a replacement. It's like yeah, but it is hard to get it
Which
to.
I think is kind of genius. It's- oh, you could use like regular boring dice, or you could buy our proprietary, really colorful.
Ooh, the shiny clickety clacks. The dice goblins are like,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, because Dava, woo, woo, I'm in
Oh,
Dava. So there's not. I mean, we're slowly having hobby shops open. So here's to hoping there's more accessibility for the small cities. Woo. So,
yes.
but yeah, going back, well, just because like some of the questions here that I've listed kind of was answered. So we can do like a character. So somebody asked about stats. So maybe we can go through like a sample of like character creation through the system and how it differs from other systems. Like we can do like comparison to like 5e or maybe like variant differences like because Legend of Five Rings has a 20 question list, which is something I really love about like just in character creation you're going through in depth about your character. How are you going through character creation in Genesis?
Hmm.
Oh, sorry.
Not really. I don't think big. Still, I have played a lot of RPGs. Fair, so it all kind of blends together for me at some point. But I find that it's yeah, no, there's not really anything I'd say is very different. The only differences would actually be just like the races and whatnot. Because when you make a character in Genesis or with like Star Wars as well, you start off with obviously the race.
Mm-hmm.
It has features, similar to D&D, slightly different because obviously it's a different system. You then go over your like HP, which is called wounds in this.
What's like the
And
common
they
races in Genesis? Because like I know in Star Wars it's like specific to the theme of that. Because you could get like a
yes,
Zabrak, a droid,
yeah, you
human,
have
but
like
for
a
a
whatever I
for an
forgot Kit Fisto, whatever his
yeah.
race
So
was.
so what are the common races found in like the normal Genesis games?
In the basic Genesis game, unfortunately, the core rulebook, the most basic, the most vanilla out of all of them is just basic humans.
Okay, so
It's
it's
just
like
different types of humans.
yeah, so it's like
Because it is more of it'd be like a more an urban setting or modern setting. So it's just average human, intelligent human, charismatic human. Yeah, it's just different flavor of human.
okay.
As far as the Genesis book is concerned. But the Genesis, at least the core rule book, is supposed to just be yeah. This is kind of a genius thing that they do because they made it generic. Is that the core rule book is what you use to get all the rules and like the base, like where you want to start off in. What we really want is for you to buy our source books, our setting books. We have a
Yeah.
fantasy one. We have a sci-fi one with like hacking. We have one based on what's this Keyforge? I think that's like a card game of some sort. I forgot what that was, but we want you to buy these settings. But the core book is just there to teach you how to do things.
Okay,
So
okay.
it's not
So
meant to be
it's
just
setting specific for the races and stuff. Oh yeah, hi
yes,
DM Chromie. Yeah, he said it's going to depend on the settings of books. Genesis itself is a
yep.
generic system, and
Yeah, Genesis, the core rulebook is really
yeah,
just this kind of human.
yeah. Oh, Mikey had a question. He said,
Mhm.
"Do you find it easy to combine genres using the Genesis system?" Ooh.
Yes. In fact, the
Ooh.
one I'm gonna run for you is urban fantasy. So yeah, I've
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it, but I did add a thing there that usually doesn't happen in urban fantasy. It's
Ooh.
inspired by, yeah, it's inspired by an isekai of all things that I read back in the day.
So there's an isekai
Yeah.
element, or oh, by the way, for
No, there's no isekai element, but there's an aspect of an isekai manga slash light novel slash anime that I saw way back, and I
okay,
added it to this because it's a thing that I love. But I'm not
yeah.
gonna spoil it.
Okay, all right. We'll keep the suspense. Oh yeah, just a heads up to
Yeah.
people who just came in. So this is like we're just talking about the system in itself, but we're gonna do an actual play of the Genesis system with tabletop cinema and Yan on Sunday. We're gonna have an urban fantasy one shot with Nino as the GM. Woo! I'm so excited.
I
Yeah, so they're saying Chromie said that's how GURPS works as well, generic system with a million supplements and to
yes,
customize to what you want.
that's
Whoa.
once again, it's I don't know if that was a thing during that time. I don't know when it happened because Numenera is
Oh.
basically, yeah. Numenera was the sci-fi version or science fantasy version. It
Mm-hmm.
came out first, and then they stripped down like the theme, and then it became the cipher system. Now the
Dun, dun,
cipher system
dun.
is generic, and you can add it to any, like, there's superheroes, there's fantasy, there's like sci-fi. Basically, yeah, it kind of has the same like cycle. It feels like where it came from like this high concept science fantasy sci-fi story, and stripped down to more generic, so they can sell more of it.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah, because I just recently found out, like, just a slight segue. GURPS has like a supplement for Cthulhu. I think Yan was the one who showed it,
Oh,
and I was just like, bruh. There's a Cthulhu one, and then
yeah.
there's another GMJ, who was like looking into it because of the gun fu.
Mm,
I was like, ah,
okay.
that's cool. That's cool. So they're talking about like different how Genesis has like Mass Effect, Avatar, The Last
Yes,
Airbender.
yes.
There's a Last
I don't know about.
Airbender for
Oh,
Genesis? Really?
I did not know about that one because the only one I know for Avatar, oh, might not be official because the only official one I know
Legend of the Elements? Have you?
Apocalypse.
Is that the?
Oh, okay. It's not actually Avatar then. That's just a.
Yeah,
That's an.
cause
It's not even adjacent. That's just like a inspired by.
yeah, cause
I
I
think.
I
Hold on.
played Legend of the Elements as a Last Airbender inspired cat. I was a player there. I played an
Uh huh.
Earthbender that was deaf, and she
Oh, it's just.
uses the vibrations to like feel for things and try to sense things. So it's
What's
cool.
that's
Yeah.
literally just Toph.
She's deaf. She's not blind. She's deaf.
You just used a different like.
Disability. It's a cooler concept.
Wait, Legend of the Elements is also powered by the.
Yes, it is.
It's
Yeah, I
not.
think maybe we're
Okay.
thinking of the same thing because it is Legend of the
Yeah.
Elements is powered by the
No.
Apocalypse.
Legend of the Elements is not the official one. There is a Avatar Legends, which is an
Yeah,
actual
yeah,
official
yeah. There's an official
release, but
Atla.
Legend of the Elements, yeah. Legend of
Yeah,
the Elements is just I believe it's just a homebrew sort.
yeah.
I think.
Oh, all right. Cyberpunk Cthulhu. Right. Sorry, Yan. Yeah, there was a Cyberpunk
Okay.
Cthulhu supplement for GURPS, and I was just like, oh
Okay.
no. But yes, I guess like Genesis does have a lot of adaptability to
Yeah.
genres, so you can mishmash stuff. Can you run
Mhm.
a successful horror game with Genesis?
Mm, I. hmm. It might take a bit of work, but I'd say yes. The problem is Genesis would have too many. You'd have to excise a lot of talents and make your own,
Ah,
uh, because a lot of the talents do not work for. Uh, yeah, no, they're a bit too powerful, or at the very least, it feels like you're given too much power, because again, a lot of RPGs are like power fantasies, and
okay.
yeah, the tier system that they have, yeah, you really do have like you have a lot to work with, so might
Oh,
be difficult. It's not impossible, It's just, yeah, you're gonna have to do a lot of work to make that more of a horror thing, because horror is about being powerless mostly.
Yes.
And
Classic Call of
unfortunately, a lot of,
Cthulhu.
yeah, I know. Unfortunately, all RPGs or most RPGs are geared towards, power fantasies, more or less. So yeah, you do a lot of work, but it's still doable.
Okay. Yeah. So, now leading back to, because like you were telling about most of your experience running the game for Genesis, I want to know how much Genesis has influenced or shaped your game mastering style through, like, up to present. Like, how did it shape it, or what big impact did it make for you running games?
For me, I think this is something we didn't talk about because Genesis is like the basic. It does have a magic system that I like. I wish could be implemented in more things, where you don't have a predetermined like spell book, unlike stuff like D&D, Pathfinder, or like a lot of other RPGs. Uh, you can make up your own spell essentially. It's very abstract. Uh, the only thing that would guide you would be the results that you want. Hmm. I guess I could explain that a little bit too. It is a mechanic. It's just I didn't want to describe it too detailed because there's already a lot of details
No,
in this.
keep going. Go ham on details.
Okay. Magic. So essentially, magic. How it works is you have specific skills for magic. There's arcane, there's the divine, all that stuff, and each of those has specific actions. Whether you're attacking, augmenting, creating a barrier, conjuring stuff, cursing things, healing. So there's a set of actions that you're able to do, and then under those actions are different effects. So let's say you want to try like casting a fireball to immolate your enemy. You can take the attack, yeah, magic attack action, and then add. There's a list that I want to like show this, but basically there's a list of things that you can use to make that fireball more firebally. One of
More
the options is
fire.
yeah. One of the options is burn. One of the options is blast. You can increase the range, but when you do that, you increase the difficulty. So the basic attack is only like one difficulty die, so it's really easy to pull off. But if you want to make it more powerful, you're gonna have to add, the burn quality, which increases your difficulty. So now you're rolling two. You want to attack someone farther away, so you add a couple more dice, etc., etc. So because it's narrative, that's also really good that magic is actually the most narrative part of this system, because when you use any magic action, you literally have to like describe what effects you're adding,
Hmm.
and then you could like narrate how it looks
Yeah.
basically. And there's no like set. There's the what do you call it? Ray of sickness or something. Yeah, this is what it does. Uh, Theoretically, you could recreate Ray of Sickness if you really wanted to, or you could make it like more focused. You can basically you can create your own spells on the fly.
Awesome.
So that's it's probably my favorite like magic system, because it allows creativity,
Yeah.
and it really does take advantage of the fact that you're making a dice pool. So if you want to just be like safe, you could just like fling fireballs really easily. The damage will be negligible because it'll be really easy, but the damage will be negligible. If you want more bang for your buck, make it a harder spell, and then we'll see if you fail or not.
Yeah, Yan commented, so it's kind of like mage style. I think like with Genesis, it kind of leans more on the awakening because like from what uh the previous behind the scenes discussions, in our little calls on how like a spell has like different factors. So like it could be
Mm.
empowered, it could get stronger. So there's a lot of things you can add on to it based on the success of your dice. So it leans more into awakening than ascension, just to give Yan a distinction on the magic for
Ah,
because like
because I didn't know because I did play Ascension with you, so it didn't feel the same. But I
yeah.
guess I never played Awakening, so it might be
Awakening
different
has
feel.
more structure in their magic system because that's how you're describing it. Because like if
Mm.
the fireball being more firebally, so let's say
Mhm.
if I wanted to use forces to do a kinetic punch, and when I punch it, I kind of want to ripple like a kinetic force that would not just hit a single target, but it would target everything else. So they call
Mm.
it spell factors in
Mm.
Awakening. For Ascension, it's a lot more loosely interpreted. For
Mm.
Awakening, it's very strict on like how much is the target, is it empowered, are you planning to do aggravated from lethal, those kinds of things. So it's like it has a structure in how it expounds the magic.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's what I remember.
Chromie said that it. I guess this is to respond to the question how Genesis shaped your GM style. It's made me love theater of the mind combat for
Yes,
sure.
it
Yeah.
has. Mostly because again, I'll be perfectly honest. Having range, you know, it's really it's a lot of work to try and figure out is this thing 60 feet away from me. I prefer to just go short, medium, long, extreme.
Yeah.
That's it. That's like, hi, great. That's much better.
Yeah. One of the things I enjoyed with like I keep going back to Star Wars because it's like my own
Yeah, it
baseline.
is. That's also that's where Genesis gets its like system from anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So like with Star Wars, most of my scenes, like when I would do the actual play, did not have maps. It was all
Mm,
described. So when
perfect.
they were having like a one-on-one fight with another bounty hunter, a Twi'lek bounty hunter, their nemesis, and how
Mm,
they had to climb up a building. I just showed a picture, described the height and width, and them being surrounded by the mooks as they were like firing lasers at them as they're going up this like elevator, that kind of lift that was open.
yeah.
So it was like
Turbo lifts.
you get to describe the scene a bit more with much freedom. I think that's one of the things I loved about Star Wars is that because I'm a very uh, theatrical kind of like if I have to
Yeah.
use maps, it's okay, but I like describing and like telling the players like placing the scene in their head, like
Yeah.
paint like a movie scene. Like I like describing it like a movie.
I know. Yeah, that's perfect. I do prefer that. There are downsides to it, obviously. Like if you start describing something and like it looks different in their head than in their head, it's gonna happen, like cross wires. But more often than not, I do prefer not having to like measure things
Yeah.
because all right, this 60 feet. It's a 30 foot spell. Am I close enough? I think so.
Maybe.
Let's see. Especially when you take into account elevation.
Hmm.
Elevation just kills like the tactical RPG thing that happens when you have like a map where you're
Hmm.
counting squares. This thing is like 15 feet in the air. Is he technically 30 feet away from me if I'm like on the ground at a lower elevation? And then you have to do like the whole so, Pythagoras
Pythagorean
theorem.
theorem.
Yeah, you're gonna have to like figure out the angle of this, and then oh god, no, I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
If it's just all in your head, you can just yeah, no, he takes cover from this. He's a bit farther away from you. I'd say he's like medium range from you. So yeah, it's much better
Yeah.
to theater of the mind.
Yeah, the funny thing is like in terms of like the math and the range, I don't find difficulty with it because I started with a crunchy, very
Yeah, no.
length specific system. So I can describe like I can already do like the math of like okay, if this is like a 60 feet elevation and the enemy's there and there's like full cover and stuff, but I tried to say it in a narrative way. So like, and then I would check their weapons in advance. Okay, their weapon could still make a
Yeah,
shot,
but
but it's gonna cause
you also
difficulty.
have years of experience as a GM. Good luck getting newbies to like GM with that.
But I try to describe it as much as possible because like I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah, I know.
putting like for me, especially in a realistic scene, you want to be able to put the realism of like the enemy is high up there, the ceiling's high, or you're in a claustrophobic space that it's only a 5 by 5. So like numbers help me to that extent, and then like
Nah,
so your weapon
fair.
can do this. I just got used to that kind of system that has the numbers. So when it got to the narrative side, it just like it complemented each other, the numbers and the description. So it's like you're an architect with the set and
Yes, and bro, you need like a protractor to like what the heck? How high is this? What are we doing? Far away
yeah.
is it?
Like, Mike said if your players really want to, I tried it with maps too. It works surprisingly well with a segmented ruler for range bands. Math surely won't help you in real life.
I don't want to use rule. I
Just
ah,
it's a short long range. That's it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Whatever you know. Like speaking,
I know.
it's fine though. But now that you were mentioning like you know the different instances, like sharing bits and pieces of like how we kind of run our stuff at the table. Can you share like a memorable moment under your table playing the system that really stuck to you? Like, man, this is awesome. Like this actually happened in my table.
A lot of unfortunately, it is still Star Wars, but it's the same system, so it counts. God, I don't know if you've met him. There's a guy we used to play with Star Wars thing. His name is Raz.
Uh-huh.
Any moment with him is pretty incredible because he played before. What's that? What's that robot in? Who's that droid in Rogue One? The killer robot one?
Like the do not
K something.
resist K3PO or
No,
something?
no. Yeah, K2. K2.
K2
Before
something.
K2 existed, he made his own
Uh-huh.
like killer robot. And I swear they like reached into our brain because that's kind of like what he was playing. He was like a what do you call this? He was a reprogrammed like assassin droid, essentially.
Yeah.
And all of his roles were they were just amazing. They tried to bluff their way to like an imperial like stronghold, and yeah, they bluffed their way in. They didn't like sneak or anything. They just went through the door, pretended to be like, yeah, we're part of the crew, and essentially they rolled. Oh, God damn it! I think he used a destiny point for that too, because he rolled one yellow die. I think he had like a really small pool. I think he had a dice pool of 2 because he's a robot. And he used a destiny point to turn one of those into like a proficiency die, and he got a triumph for it because of course he did. And yeah, they just name dropped Grand Moff Tarkin and said, yeah, we're like special envoys from Grand Moff Tarkin, let us through. And I just went, hell did you get that from like 2 dice, bastard? Fine.
Yeah.
Anything that Raz does, unfortunately, he's a great player, but anything he does, because he rolls really well. If you've seen Critical Role and seen Taliesin roll like natural 20s like 5 times in a row, we have our version of that. He's that guy.
He's a lucky guy.
Yeah.
Even if the odds are against his favor.
Yeah, I know. He fought an Inquisitor, and they were trying to run away from. They engaged because, trying to distract. He said, "Yeah, I'll stay behind to distract." Rolls 2 triumphs and went, what am I gonna do? Fine, you disarm him. It's like, all right, bye. So it's just.
I know the feeling all too well about Triumph Dice. Looks over at Plogan, who is in chat right now. Hello.
Yeah.
With the one good memory I have for Genesis, like it's related to Star Wars. Yes. So Seth, one of the players, he plays this character called Kandaron Fett, who's like kind of connected to the Fett family. He's really into the Mandalorian lore. And then then there's Plogan's character, PD1, which is the perfect droid one. He thinks he's the perfect droid. No one else is as perfect as him. So he kind of has like this superiority complex kind of thing. And in the midst of just that 4-episode run, he made a droid manifesto that more or less was in my canon part and parcel that made the droids rebel.
Yeah, the robot uprising.
The robot
it hasn't happened in canon, by the way. I think there might be one of the sequel books or something.
Yeah, it happened in Legends. It happened in Legends.
It happened in Legends, okay.
But not in the canon side. But Legends, definitely there was an uprising, and I made that droid manifesto play a role in that uprising. With the droids, they're like, we're done being treated as secondhand citizens and just means of production and stuff. So it was fun. And then like the Triumph dice, I know that feeling too well because I've had players like it's an impossible odds, but the players are like, don't tell me the odds. They roll it and they get freaking triumphs.
Yeah.
And out of the lulls, they named their ship Triumph.
That's not bad.
Yeah, rude.
That's good. How about on the other side of that? Just so it's not just us lamenting the fact that the players have like power here. I did have a situation where, here's the thing about. I gave them a ship, by the way. This is still the same campaign. I gave them a ship.
Yes.
They had like one of those I forgot, consular class ships.
Okay.
Big red one.
The freight one?
No, the one for ambassadors, I think. I forgot what the thing was, but essentially it's big, it's red, it's got an escape pod. Steph is kind of a power gamer, so a lot of times, because he chose like a pilot character, he always made sure that whenever he did anything, he was near his like starship, his like personal starfighter, or this consular class ship I gave them. So I decided I'd introduce a Sith Lord. And when he tried shooting it with like the turbo lasers, I essentially used like an earlier version of like this the thing that Kylo Ren did, where he can stop blaster bolts. And instead he created like a black hole that absorbed the blaster, the turbo laser, and then shot it back at the ship. So that shut his shit down really quick.
Oh, that sounds so cool though. Takes notes for my next campaign.
Well, again, here's the thing: you could, if they think that's too much, you could just say, "I'll use a destiny point to say that I could do that." They didn't, thankfully. I already had it prepared. I made sure I had like a destiny point in case they like told me, "What? That's kind of unfair. What's going on?" So I just, but they didn't, so I didn't. No, that's why he's a Sith Lord. He can do that.
Exactly. Like his stats is Nemesis. He's supposed to be able to do bullshit like this. It's for story.
Yeah, it is.
Adversary.
It's also very narrative. It's your fault you didn't like, say anything.
Exactly. So so those are a lot of fun moments. I guess like just going back again to the system. I just wanted to ask, just like a small takeaway. It's like, what do you love about the system? Like just to summarize the things you love about Genesis, and the things you feel like need improvement from the system. Like they could use some improvement on XYZ as we close out.
Right. So the thing I love, I think I've mentioned this, more narrative. I like making sure that whenever you do anything, whether it's combat, social, there's always a narrative aspect. You're actually contributing to the story and not just like reacting to it. You're actually, you're driving the story as well. So that's the thing I love about Genesis, and in fact, that's why the magic system, which I will show you once we get to play a game, is probably my
Yes.
favorite part because you can also control the bad dice from it
Huh?
to an extent. Yeah, so
Bruh.
it's the perfect, it's a perfect I guess culmination, or it's a perfect crystallization of what the Genesis system is like very good at, which is letting the players also have like more control over like how they do things. The thing that needs improvement is technically not the mechanics, it's the fact that I probably won't get any like deals or anything, or you probably won't get any sponsorships from them if I do this, but
No, go ahead.
essentially their like settings are terrible.
Oh no! Hot take, hot
I-
take.
Yeah, that I really do not. The Terranoff thing is very generic, borderline like first grade fantasy thing. It's just so boring. It's so paint by numbers
Oh
fantasy.
no.
The hacker one is also very. It's essentially, god damn, it's so uninspired. Their settings.
You're just
I wish they'd
basically
take-
telling them to hire you as a game designer to write better settings for them.
I mean, sure, if they want to, but I'm just saying, God, I really, because the fantasy one, the Terranoff one, is just so. They added like a part here with like the heroic abilities, which isn't in the base
Uh-huh.
Genesis. But the heroic abilities are very underwhelming. They're supposed to be like this huge, like move that's like worthy of a hero, but then there's only one that's combat oriented. The rest are like they're like flourishes. They're just like they're very superfluous. I do not like them. It's so frustrating.
So,
and
so
then
Genesis do better.
at least for the settings. I don't know if Keyforge is really good. I haven't gotten it because when I got the hacker one, I think it's called Shadow of the Beanstalk. The name's weird. Basically, there's a giant tower they call the Beanstalk that connects everyone to the internet. That's why that's called that way. But the hacking is also very like, this needs more. It's just so. I don't think they take advantage of the fact that it's a narrative thing as much as they should. And instead, they gave very bare bones settings so that the people buying it can like make their own stuff up. But it's just frustrating because I wish they'd like actually make the settings, the things that we're supposed to shell out money for, a bit better.
But what about Edge of Empire? Though? I think they did a pretty good job with that one. But it's Fantasy Flight.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, it is Fantasy. The thing is, that's where they started. That already exists. The Star Wars. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Is that the Star Wars had so much theme into it. They had like the Force, like which has its own like talent tree. Sometimes there's different careers that you can take. You can like mix and match, all that good stuff. The fantasy one just has the standard fantasy races. There's humans, elves, dwarves, orcs. Give me something. Give me something here. It's so boring. The settings.
Yeah. So
Star
they
Wars
need
doesn't count because it's an own thing.
Yeah. So basically, their own original settings for fantasy and the other genres kind of need some work.
Yes,
But
they need a lot of
overall, it's a
work.
good system. You can't.
Yes, it is.
All right. Well, well, yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you, Twitcher, and thank you, Caracalla, for following. Yeah, we're actually at the kind of like tail end. We're just doing some takeaways. We talked about the awesome dice mechanics. I kind of want to show the dice again because it's pretty. It is like a really colorful dice. You've
Yes, they are.
encouraged me to get the pretty dice. I'm like, God damn it! Now where to find them? I need to get
Yeah,
them
that
now.
is the problem, especially over there. Over here, I think I've seen a couple of them. They're
Yeah.
not too rare, but they're also not like they're not as common as like the regular D20s, which are
Yeah. Wait,
they're
hold
big
on.
nowadays.
Yeah, I'm glad they've grown because like when I played it way back when, it was still kind of like small. Wait, why is it small?
Yeah.
Don't be small. It was a big dice. There you go.
Oi, 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 oi.
There you go. Let me show the dice again. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yes.
Okay.
Someone did. I think someone mentioned this before that dice are basically nerd jewelry, and agreed.
Shiny
I would
math
say,
rocks.
yeah, I would agree. These are probably a good. This is a good set to collect.
Yeah, I like it because it's so colorful and like it just feels different when you have the physical dice versus just
Yes,
rolling digitally. There's something about it, and it's just so
but
damn colorful. Damn it.
well, also, again, because you're making a dice pool, you're never just gonna roll one or two at a time. You're
Yeah, you're
rolling
gonna
a
roll a
lot, so the
lot.
clacks also like
The sound of the
it's
clack
like
clack
a
clack clack.
yeah. It's they designed it again. That design is really good.
Yeah, they really
I like
did well on the dice mechanic and like
yeah.
just learning about the what do you call this, like it's there's something about it not being numbers and it being symbols
Mm,
instead for success and stuff.
yeah.
That's really cool. And the exploding dice, like I would recommend people to try at least once in their lifetime to play a Genesis system, be it Star Wars or the Fantasy Flight games Legend of Five Rings. You guys should try it. Like it will, like you won't see narrative systems the same way after you go through that kind of dice system. So it's like satisfying, man. So yeah,
Just FFG, just make better settings, please. I really want to play more of your game.
please.
I need a better hook. I need a better hook than just like generic hacker world or generic fantasy. Give me something.
Yeah, or else we're just keep playing Star Wars. Is that what you want?
Or I just want to make. I just made my own just because I like the system so much.
Yeah.
I
Speaking of
homebrewed like a.
you making your own thing, can you give like just a little bit of a teaser for the kind of setting and world that we're gonna expect for the actual play for the run this coming Sunday for Genesis?
Okay, so I am going to be running. God, I don't. I'm also not very good at names, unfortunately. So this world is very generically called Gaia because there is an in-universe reason for it.
Gaia
But
with an I or
um,
Gaia with an E?
that'd be I.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And essentially, it is urban fantasy, so I've modernized. I'm all tapped out on like the fantasy genre. So I wanna I wanna set it where there's buildings instead of huts. So you are going to be solving a mystery of sorts.
Oh,
It yeah, you'll be in what do they call that? Like the concrete jungle.
and good
Yeah, good
toilets.
toilets. Yeah, good
Yeah.
toilets. Which is again, it's often overlooked in a lot of like sci-fi, uh, as well. So yeah, good. Oh,
So,
yeah.
so we're investigating a mystery in its urban setting in Gaia. What are
Yes.
the pre-generated characters you created, by the way? Like,
I actually have. I took a page from the starter kit for Star Wars, so
mhm.
I technically made 6. I'm only gonna let you choose 5.
6? You made 6,
Yeah.
bruh.
Well, no, Well, here's the thing. I already made them before. You don't worry about it. I've had this like in the back pocket for a while. Uh,
You've been
so
waiting
I
for
didn't
this moment.
kind of, but yeah. So yeah, you get a choice. There's one character you will need. You can opt not to use it, but I can tell you right now, if you don't use it, you probably will. You will have a TPK for this one shot.
TPK. TPK. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, so I don't know
So
if you're into that. I'm fine. I'll let you choose, but I'm giving you a heads up.
yeah. So what are the 6
Uh,
characters, and which one is the one we need?
Oh, I can't. I can't like reveal it too much.
It's just a little teaser. Like, okay, at least there's a doctor. Just character concepts, at least. Like,
Okay, well, character concepts. There's a what I call a peacekeeper. So essentially, like a police force kind of guy. He's human.
He's
but
keeping
not
the
same
peace.
Human. Yeah, he's keeping the peace. Yes. There's one I call a Kadim, which is I can't. Yeah, I'll just say what it is. They're dragon slayers,
Uh-huh.
and you'll see what they use to slay dragons. I'm not gonna reveal that one.
Okay.
There's an arcanist, which is a very magic-oriented guy.
Okay.
I gave you a merchant as well, which is more of the talky person that you're gonna have.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is a general, like just hunter guy, basically like a ranger, that hunts non-humanoid, non-sapient things.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one is what I call a conciliator, which is essentially just a negotiator, but I'll let you use that one.
So which one's the ones we need for the actual?
You need a dragon slayer.
Okay. So we need a dragon slayer. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. All of them sound really cool though. Like I like the merchant, I like the peacemaker, and I like the negotiator. Those are like, I feel like those are where I'm gonna fall when I pick the pre-gens. So yeah.
I do like. I actually do prefer. He will arrest the dragon.
I'll take the policeman. Okay, we got a policeman. Yan's gonna be the peacemaker. Cool. So I can choose between the merchant or the negotiator. I'll ask Mikey what kind of character he wants. So we need a dragon slayer though.
Yeah, you do need that guy. I mean, you need him, but it'd be fun to see if you didn't.
It'll be an interesting party comp if there is no dragon slayer. Yes, let's go.
And since this is like I wanted to you don't need to use the magic person to use magic, because everyone in this world I've decided can use it. It's just there's a price to pay.
Oh, okay.
So everyone has that spark of magic. It's just, if you're not trained for it, bad shit might happen.
Okay, so it's basically paradox. Got it.
Yeah. Actually, my inspiration for this back in the day, I don't know if you read it, Harry Dresden.
The Dresden Files?
Yes, the Dresden Files.
Sure, dude. We're fucked.
Yeah, very modern.
No.
With wizards and shit. Yeah.
Okay, boys. So our culprit is a dragon. I'm calling the SWAT team. Oh my god, this is Dresden Files. Fucking hell. Okay, so like when you said we were gonna investigate, I was like, this feels like, because urban fantasy. We're doing some investigations. I was about to comment that.
Yeah, he's essentially the inspiration for it.
That is cool. It's cool that we know we're pulling stuff out of. But yeah, I'm really excited for this Sunday. Yeah, that's more or less our tabletop RPG talk session 2. I hope you guys enjoyed learning about the mechanics, the uniqueness of the system, and I hope you guys are looking forward to the actual play where we will have Mikey from Tabletop Cinema, Yan, GM Master Yan, who is our GURPS extraordinaire, and then me. Just me. Just I just want to try things.
Wow, really? You're gonna sell yourself short. You've done a lot.
No, I'm just
Just me.
it's just me. It's just Denma, the
Yes, the
feral.
person who's run like you. You've run like a lot of RPG groups already. Bring that into you're not getting away from this without telling
I am
without
but
giving yourself some appellation.
I
Go
I
ahead.
am but a humble.
Your accolades.
I'm a humble connoisseur who tries to partake
Oh wait, is
as
this the
many.
time when we plug things? Because I would like to plug
Yes.
this new like web
Yes.
comic that a friend of mine. It's called Katahum,
God damn.
which was
How dare
yeah that's the here you're not like giving yourself enough credit. Jeez.
I was
Stop
this show is about Genesis. It's got nothing to do with me.
Yeah, I know, but this is the plug section, and
God damn it! Yeah, I was gonna say like you were mentioning about. I think you just mentioned it recently. RPG Cebu was doing like Reconnect and all the other events, cool stuff. I think you guys are doing something this coming. I don't know what the exact date is, but you guys are doing something related to the Dungeons and Dragons movie, which is super cool.
Yes. The group is for anyone who's in Cebu or will be in Cebu at around during like I think it's April 1st is when it's coming out in the Philippines.
Okay.
They're going to have an event for the movie. I don't have the details, unfortunately.
Is it posted in the page?
Yes, it is posted in our group, facebook.com/RPG Cebu, right?
Okay. Okay.
Written out there.
I'm gonna check
for more details. Yeah, but essentially, we're gonna have an event. I'm not even sure if they've even announced it yet.
Yeah, I don't think.
I'm gonna give them like a signal boost as early as now.
Yeah,
because it's almost like April.
Yeah, because I know Greasy Snitches is the one doing the tables. They're doing like a mini table event, for when the movie comes out in Manila. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they'll be having a display and then a learning how to play the game during the premiere weekend of Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves at SMC side. There we are.
Yeah, if anyone's in the Cebu side in the Philippines, April 1st, it's Holy Week. If you have any
friends, if you have any friends that are like, I don't know, fans of Chris Pine and don't know anything about D&D, just coming in here for him, at least let them go there early so they can see this. They can learn how to play D&D.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, this is the official post I'm gonna show people.
Thank you.
So this is the official group. It says RPG Cebu will be holding a mini display learn to play during the premiere weekend of Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves at SMC side. Afterwards, we are planning to catch an evening show of the movie for anyone interested to join the watch party. April 1st, cinemas 1 to 4. Cool.
Yeah, apparently it's tentative because they're still negotiating it, but yeah, April 1st most likely.
Yeah, I shall fly over April 1st from the state. Let's go. Let's Cebu meet. Is it meet up in Cebu? Let's go. Yeah.
There is I just see like a question from.
Oh yeah, Yan. Yeah.
Was this?
Before we end,
share about what anime was the inspiration for the setting. I mean, I could.
But is it spoiler territory?
Kind of.
Okay, so
no, it's not. I mean, it is spoilery, but I mean, if you know, you know. I guess it could. Fine. Escaflowne.
Escapone?
Do not look it up.
Okay, I won't. I don't know it, so I'll be surprised.
Yeah, Visions of Escaflowne. There we go.
Right. Oh, thank you for the follow, Archangel Zero. We're just at the tail end of the show. I'm sorry that dear God, don't look up then. Is it as bad as Made in Abyss?
No. It's not bad. Not at all. It's very spoiler because literally it's
okay.
It is it is a it will kind of spoil what my big surprise was going to be, but
Oh, Mick!
for those of you
Oh my God, Mick! Hi, welcome. Hi, hello. Confessor Warchild, hi, hi. Oh yeah, I remember you. Man, there's so much shit that happened in Mage, New York since you were like not around. There's so much bullshit. So yeah. Yeah, we were just talking about Genesis and we just finished. So we're at the tail end already, had our takeaways, doing some plugs. Yeah, we're still playing it in season 2. Lots of lots of bullshit happened. Yeah, hopefully you can join us again. You know, it's been really cool. Every weekend. Like we've been trying to do like at least every weekends. But yeah, Archangel Zero is like one of the players in season 1 of the Mage Awakening game I play under GMJ's table. But yeah, that was nice seeing. Yeah, Mikey was here, chatting a bit about Genesis because Genesis is one of his favorite systems. Yeah, we were college schoolmates. Cool, cool, cool. So yeah, thank you again. You know, I know it's like, despite the time zones and everything, we got to do a cool thing.
yeah, of course. I'm looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to Sunday.
Something
really,
that's gonna be streamed. That's not. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not scary at all.
Yeah, I know it's scary, but I'm here. Just imagine it. You know, I'm doing the
my
production.
face isn't on the thing, I'm good.
No, don't worry. Your face isn't there. It's probably your players will probably have the face, but you are the faceless GM.
Yeah, so speaking of which, yeah, I do want to also give a shout out to the guy who made my avatar here.
Yeah, the Cheshire cat. It's really cool.
Cheshire Warlock. Yeah, it is pretty good. He did this in like 4 days, I think, 4 or 5 days. My God, this was done.
4 days for that? What the fudge?
He's pretty good. So
what's his name?
Like a watermark. There should be a watermark on the lower right, but for those who can't see it or if it's too low quality, it's Agora's sketchbook.
Agora's is it in Twitter? Sketchbook?
Instagram. Here, I think. Yeah, Instagram /AGORAS_sketchbook.
Instagram. And then Agoras_sketchbook. I will follow this person 4 days.
Yes. Oh.
And the detailed overview of the system. Yes, you'll have Nino to thank because I'm just here asking the questions and he gave all the answers.
Yeah.
So thank you again, and I'm just thankful that like you agreed to. I know, given like the introversion and whatnot, you're actually one of like the good players and TTRPG enthusiasts I've encountered. So I'm excited to finally get to play a game under your table. Like Expanse will happen one day, but for now,
yes, we will.
Genesis will happen.
Yeah, I'll be on here again for like Expanse because I love both the game and the show.
If anybody wants to play Expanse with me, please, I need players.
Not.
Oh wait. By the way, Agoras is spelled with 2 A's, so the AGORAS.
AGORAS. Agoras. Okay.
Yes, Agoras.
Sorry,
my English accent is very.
Agoras. Okay. Agoras.
Yes, Agoras.
Right. Do follow Agoras. He made awesome Cheshire art of Nino, our cool GM. But yeah, you'll see this church. God damn it, Sid.
Cheshire.
Yeah, but my mouth fails me a lot, so. But yeah, catch Nino in the next stream this coming Sunday for our Genesis run in his homebrewed system, urban fantasy setting. Alright, I had to remove the hydrate because it's cutting off the guest that's talking, Sin. Okay, we're here to listen to Nino, and I'll hydrate. The blurb was cutting him off. So no. But I will return it on the next stream. Don't worry about it. Suck water. I will fill up a bottle and glug a liter after the stream. We're ending. We're gonna raid out. But yeah, thank you again, Nino. I appreciate
Thank
all
you
the
as well. Thanks for
information
having me.
and wisdom, and this really helped refresh. It's not a lie. I'll drink water. I promise. And probably make another cup of coffee, maybe, probably. But yeah, we'll raid out. We'll find somebody to raid. I guess the one thing I'm gonna ask our GM, other than expecting that it might be hard mode because we might not choose a Dragon Slayer and we take on the challenge, what can the audience expect from your Genesis run? Like, what kind of stuff will they see this coming Sunday?
Ooh, it's unfortunate because it's supposed to be a tutorial thing. If you've ever seen any RPG, like if you've ever played any JRPG that's in the tutorial phase, it is gonna be a bit railroady up until like the climax.
Okay, so
But theme wise, I have decided it will be a bit more more investigative-y,
okay, all right.
explory.
Okay. Expect the unexpected, as 69 all day and all night said. But Plogan said to give you vicious flattery. So as we're rating out, I'm gonna. So it is a small thing where I will be giving some flattery towards you. Wait, I'm gonna type tabletop cinema. So while we're waiting for it to load, I will say I'll flatter Nina. Beyond just the TTRPG scene and your enthusiasm for different systems and introducing a lot of new new games that I otherwise would not have known had you not talked about it. You have been also a great, I will say, a great friend, Myrtle, who behind the scenes has helped me in a lot of things personal and stuff. So you're a great person. I hope you know that. And you've actually been one of the few people that have been practically helping me in more ways than one. So I will always appreciate that. So take that. I will roll dice. Vicious flattery. You will be taking 2 flattery damage for that.
Okay.
Yes, but thank you. Your presence is always appreciated, and I look forward to Sunday's game. Yes, I had a railroading tutorial session. Someone vented out of the airship at the end of it. I've given that recap, Jan. But yes, we are going to raid out to Mikey of Tabletop Cinema, an enthusiast of Genesis. Let him know that it was me. We are sending all our love to him right now as he's playing Banner Saga, I believe. So do use those emotes, and I'll see you guys on the next stream tomorrow. Bye bye.